I think that you created a culture in Lloyd with that, listening to your teams. And I want to know more. The whole setup sounds so interesting to me, being in multifamily, being in operations myself as a regional manager. How has this shift impacted the efficiency and the effectiveness of overall maintenance operations? You kind of gave us a little bit. I want more. And our audience wants to know more. So curious.
With our setup, which, by the way, did not happen overnight. This has taken us probably 4 solid years of working in this system. Just recently, I think the last 2 guys in our Sioux Falls region, which is our largest group of units, just joined into a pod. I would say overall, the big thing has been communication. Our guys now have somebody to go to. One of the great things, too, it was always a scramble on if somebody was leaving for vacation or they were out for a holiday. Who do you get to cover in their property? Now everything within a pod has somebody there to cover it. Also within the pods, we're very safety conscious. We don't want any of our guys moving anything heavy without help. They don't have to try to get somebody from another area or contact me or a manager and say, hey, I need help with something. They have somebody directly to go to. They have a group that is on their side and on their call all the time. It's made an amazing difference for our guys as far as having somebody there as a friend. We're seeing a lot of our groups actually go out for a drink together. They hang together. Their families get together, which has just been amazing to me. I'm kind of a people person. I always joke with my boss that I'm the world's worst maintenance person because I don't like to maintain things. I like to do new and different things. And this has been very inspiring just for myself because I've been able to work with so many different individuals. I will say, if this is a system you ever try to put in, you definitely have to watch personalities, and it's a ongoing type of system. So we're always watching to see if we bring in a new tech, personality-wise, if they work with their group. If they can't work with the group, we can move them to another group that might work better. Budget-wise, this has been a big help because we can get more units per person because we can divide out the time better. Our properties, I feel, look the best they've ever looked. When it comes to work orders or turns or make-readies, we seem to be able to be more effective in getting those done too.
Part of what we try to do here on a podcast is to shine a light on amazing initiatives that are actually working, right? I don't want to take a side and just say like maintenance centralization doesn't work just because like I want it to be that way, or like I have a strong belief. If initiatives that are showing the other way around are successful, I really want to bring them into the public eye. So maybe more companies will get inspired, like copy these successful initiatives. So are these pods made out of whatever number of people overseeing more than one property?
We have a pod lead who answers. We have them divided out amongst the different managers so that everybody has a few people under them. We can keep better contact with them. We do one-on-ones on a regular basis. From there, they will have a group of individuals. A lot of times, the people stay on their property, so to say. So if there's 4 properties and we have 3 or 4 maintenance techs, which would include the lead still does all the same things as our maintenance tech would do, but they would make sure that the team is, keeping up with everything. They check time cards. They do all those little things. And they're the main contact between property managers. And we have what we call a multi-site manager, similar to how we set up our system. You have the regional, then you have a multi-site that will have numerous properties. We have our team leads meet with them on a regular basis so that they can touch bases on budget, things in the property that need to be accomplished with just work orders or turns, or if there's a capital expense project coming up, they can touch bases with that. So it gives us a lot more diversification, and it gives our guys the ability to move within their pod to keep everything working right. As far as centralization, we've geographically set it up so that there isn't a lot of moving. So they may be on the southwest part of town, and even on the southwest, we may have 2 different pods so that there's a minimal amount of travel time. And it's worked well doing that. Sometimes I feel like maybe we need to make our pods a little bit larger, but in doing so, then we might also have a lead who has to do a lot more travel time between places. As far as we are right now, it's working very well.
When it comes to how the money is being spent, who is ultimately the person that says, like, we will be spending the money on this project, or like, we will be buying this AC system, or we will not be buying, or we will try to refurbish, or who is ultimately responsible for approving those expenses, whether they're, just regular day-to-day expenses or, capital type expenses.
So I would say that most of the day-to-day type expenses are worked out between the team leads and the multi-sites on the property. If it's a capital expense, it'll probably go to a regional for final approval. But what we've noticed with the way we're doing things, that the maintenance professionals, techs, and team leads have a lot more say, and they can also see more of what's going on with the budget. When it was a property manager, basically being the supervisor to a tech, budget was never a thing. Our guys never knew what the budget was. They didn't know how they were affecting the budget. Initiative for this year has been very much more communication on budget. Unfortunately, occupancy isn't as good as it was in the last couple of years. So we're really being more budget minded. The economy in Sioux Falls area never really seems to go down a lot, but we are noticing with high interest rates and stuff like that and the price of rent, occupancy is down. So our initiative this year is that all maintenance leads and multi-site managers must meet weekly to at least hit the top maybe 5 or 6 points on budget to make sure that we're staying where we need to. And then monthly we go through the bulk of everything on budgets with them. So that way they can trickle it down to the maintenance techs, and it's less time where everybody's going to meetings,